This is the award-winning car talk show in Wheel Time, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, and Mr. Jeffrey Zekin, I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us on this day.
Beautiful Saturday.
As we head up to the new year.
Yes.
We're not looking back. We're moving forward, getting ready for 2021.
Because we want.
How is that? Is that better for you?
Much better.
We want 2020 to be in hindsight.
We don't ever want to remember it again.
Nope, not I.
Nor I. So at any rate, thank you very much for joining us today. We have a special guest, and he is with the Lone Star Street Rod Association. His name is Jackie Hanson. Jackie, hey, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see you again. I know that we met at the Lucky's Rod Run last year, and I follow you and your bunch on Facebook, but we haven't spoken since then. I hope that you're doing well.
Doing very well. Had a great Christmas with the kids and grandkids and the wife, and getting ready for 2021. And you guys have done a rocking job all year long, and I'm sure you're going to miss that blue Corvette for a Mustang, and I have to get that dig in there. But
well, there is that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
that's the thing. That is the thing about car people is I don't care if you have a Chevy, a Ford, a Mopar. We're all a big family. We love everybody, but we have to get that dig in there.
Well, absolutely.
Take your shots when you get the chance.
Yeah. So, Jackie,
you better.
Let's start off by talking about the Lone Star Street Rod Association. Tell me about that. Is it restricted to street rods? And if so, what are the restrictions?
Well, the only restriction that we really have is the car's got to be older than a 1973. So 73 on down. I'm blessed that I have a 31 Ford, a 66 Nova, and a 69 truck, so I can take anything. But that's the only really requirement that we have is it has to be pre-73.
Pre-73.
We have members from all over Texas. Started in 74. And can you guys hear me?
Yeah. We're listening. We're listening.
I feel all moving around. You made me nervous.
Well, we put some pictures up of your cars. The Nova's up there.
While you were talking about your cars, we kind of popped a picture of your Nova up.
Okay.
I collected a few photos of your cars last night on the internet. The Nova is quite the famous car as well. It's seen pretty much all around town. But you're never afraid to get behind the wheel of that and go to a show. That you put some pretty decent miles on that car.
Yes, actually, even though 2020 was a bad year, I was talking to someone the other day that in 2019, I made 45 events somewhere. Unfortunately, with 2020, I only made 15. Two of them one was in Oklahoma City with the Nova. And then my wife and I drove the Nova to Springfield, Missouri for that event. Put a little over 2,000 miles on the round trip. Was blessed to win an award there. So that was just a total shock. Over 1,000 cars. And so it's just, but I don't have a trailer. And this car is built to drive, and it's just have a good time. And you meet so many great people at gas stations. I had a car like that, so, and I'm not afraid to drive them.
So, in other words, what you're saying is it does have a rock chipper, too, in it, and that's okay.
Yes, it does. It has, well, yes and no. I just got it back from the paint shop, and he corrected all the little rock chips. So, but now it's
accumulated
to go. It's ready to go somewhere, and I am too. So.
Well, I want to get back to the Lone Star Street Rod Association because how many members do you have in the group?
Right now, our membership's down a little bit. We have a little over 600 members. I think it's 640. We have a big event every year in Granbury, Texas. And generally, a lot of people renew their membership there. And because we didn't get to have the event this year, like we normally do, a lot of people didn't renew their membership. So hopefully when we have our run this year, it's a great 3-day event in the city park there in Granbury. And our membership will come up. But it's hovering right now, a little over 600.
And when is the event in Granbury?
the event in Granbury will be in June the 11th, 12th, and 13th. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event. It kicks off on Friday night. Of course, this year we didn't get to, but the year before there's the lake there in Granbury, and we had a concert there on the lake. And then the main car show is Saturday. Sunday morning, we start off with a church service and awards, and we're generally out of Granbury by 1 or 2 o'clock.
Where is Granbury?
Granbury's a little bit south of Fort Worth, about 60 miles south of Fort Worth. It's a beautiful little town, beautiful lake. The city of Granbury, the police chief of Granbury, the Granbury Convention Center welcomes the car show event there. A great little town, beautiful courthouse. You take some great photo ops with your car. And it's just a nice little place.
Well, I want to go. I want to go, but I've got a 2001 Corvette, so I don't qualify.
You can bring one of mine. I told you I had 3 cars.
Yeah, well, I don't know as if I would trust myself driving somebody else's car.
And the only trick is never speed through Midlothian.
Well, my wife made a comment yesterday that people will say, Jackie lets you drive his cars? Well, they're her cars, mine too, so,
You can't drive all 3 of them at the same time.
I can't drive all 3 of them. You're correct.
Cool.
Now, she won't take the 31. She don't like the 31 stuff. It's too small.
Oh. So let me ask you, your statewide event that you have up there in Granbury, how many people do you look for to attend?
We generally have, in 2019, we had almost 250 cars there.
Wow.
Even though our membership is 600 people, you have to realize that, like I say, the Lone Star Street Rod Association has been around for a long time, and our membership is getting older. And so we have some effects. Well, it is what it is, But just a lot of people just, with so many events going on anymore, you can pull up on 7 or 8, 10 Facebook pages, an event here, there, whatever. And a lot of people that aren't the diehard people just don't want to be gone for 3 days anymore.
Plus,
and
with go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, plus with the type of cars you're talking about street rods. I mean, a lot of these vehicles are under construction almost all the time.
Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't mind driving my truck or my 2 of my vehicles all the way to Granbury. I've done it several times, but I don't know if I would take my 31 to Granbury without being on a trailer. It's small and compacted, and it's just hard to drive a 4-hour drive in it, And that's the thing with there's just a lot of 30 model cars, that are street rods that are, and it's just to drive them 4 hours is kind of inconvenient, But it is what it is.
Yeah, but if you do, you trailer it in and you drive it around town and you trailer it home. Life's still good, And all of your vehicles look very, very cool, and you tend to have some flames on your vehicles. Is there a reason why? I know what the reason is, but.
Well, you know the reason, but I will tell you this: I was a fireman for the city of Houston for 32 years, and it's just something about the flames and the firefighting stuff,
And street rodding. It all goes together.
And street rodding. Yes, sir. Street rods have a lot of flames. And I'm blessed that the guy who paints my cars, Max Maxwell, is got a talent. I don't know if I can throw that plug in there for Max without getting paid. But Max just does a fantastic job painting the flames. Either the ghost flames on the Nova or the old school flames on the truck. And I'm going to be honest, I win some awards at events, and most awards I always win is best paint. They don't see the craftsmanship that I put into the car. They just see how good the paint is.
And that's why you throw a free plug-in for them, right?
So let's talk.
Well, I don't know. Max is probably still asleep.
Let's talk about the modifications that you've made to the Nova. Where do we start?
I guess you can start with the front bumper and work your way back to the back. It's got an LS motor out of a 2008 Camaro with the matching transmission for 4L60. It's got a height front end under it with a Mustang 2 power rack and pinion. As we move on down to the rear, it's got a TCI 4-link with a Curry 9-inch Ford rear end in it.
Wow.
And then, it's oil wood brakes all the way around. My biggest expense was the Foose wheels we put on it. And of course, you pay for the name.
Yep.
But it's just we've lowered it. It's got Ride Tech shocks all the way around. So we've lowered it a little bit, and then we painted it. But if you open the door and climb in the seat, you'll notice that the interior, the seats, the carpet, the headliners, the door handles, everything is original '66 Nova.
Really?
So it's old school / new school. The drivability for the reliability to drive it, like y'all say, I drive it, and so gets great fuel mileage going down the highway. The air conditioner cools great, and so interior wise, it's all with the exception of the radio. It's got a new radio in it, but the interior is all original. And I don't know if you saw the picture of the steering wheel, but it's got a wood steering wheel with aluminum, which is actually a '66 Nova SS factory option. So,
kind of a rare, option.
Yeah, it was a rare option. Yes, sir.
Well, how about the truck now?
Now the truck is totally. I think the only thing original on it's the doors and the fenders. It's got a big block Chevrolet in it, 454. It gets about 9 miles to the gallon, so I have to budget my trips for that baby. And I make a joke that it passes everything on the highway except for the fuel stations. But it's a fun truck to drive. The old school flames on it really stand out with the bright red, stuff like that. And it's really, it's a great truck. Now, the brakes on it are stock 69 Chevrolet. That hasn't been upgraded, nor has the transmission. So it's basically that one is cosmetic with the paint and the flames and then all the chrome under the engine.
So I assume that when you trailer the 31, you don't trailer it behind the truck.
No, I don't. I don't actually trailer the 31. I actually drive it wherever it goes. So
that okay.
I took the 31 to Bernie this year. They have an event in Bernie every year, Run to the Hills, and all the cars there have to be pre-1949. And actually, I drove that little baby all the way up there. Kind of a crazy on my part, but then again, you have to realize that I was a fireman and ran into burning buildings while other people were running out.
So it kind of goes with the territory.
Yeah, it comes with territory being crazy, but I had just had a knee replacement about 4 weeks before the trip to Bernie, and I drove that little thing to Bernie, and it was like, oh, I don't think I'll ever do this again. You know.
I take it that it has a clutch in it.
No, it's actually an automatic.
It's just small.
Just kind of being wadded up inside of it for that long a drive.
That was it. It was just being wadded up inside of it for that long.
Well, yeah. Jackie, I follow a lot of your stuff online. I know we talk back and forth on social media. You've got a beautiful collection of cars, something to be real proud of. Thank you for your service as a fireman. And where can somebody find out? Where can somebody find out more about joining the Lone Star Street Rod Association?
We have a Facebook page, LSSRa. You can Google it up on Facebook, or you can reach me at firemanjack101@gmail.
Okay, cool. We appreciate that.
That's where you can always find me, and it's with where I'm going next, or what's going on next with the LSSRA, and then the membership for the LSSRA is $25 a year. Our event that we have in Granbury is $50. So, I think for the bang for your buck, you can really get a good deal, because the LSSRA, not only, when we have our event in Granbury, we partner up with the National Street Rod Association, and we do safety inspections on cars. These guys get down and lay on the grass and look under your car and just check for something that you might miss. Maybe a cotter pin missing out of a tie rod end, or you got a little wire loose or something. And so we really work together with other organizations to make safe street rods, to have people that don't break down the road. And we've got a great team that you can, if you have an issue and say you're in Paris, Texas, or you're in Midland, Texas, or Corpus Christi, and you have an issue and with your hot rod, and you can go through and just contact somebody, and somebody will find somebody to help you. And that's what I think is great about a big organization like we have is there's always somebody out there that, you know, because you guys know, you've been around for a long time, and you have these cars, and something happens sometimes, you know, and there's nothing more frustrating than to walk into an auto parts store and say, I need a this for a 1931 Ford, and like the guy behind the counter looks at you like, what?
His eyes just glaze over because he has no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. You know, so
yeah, that's pretty cool.
I have a little thing on my notepad that I tell you, my 31 has 69 Camaro brakes on it, or you know, I need an oil
some notes.
For a 66.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. But you know, another thing is we pay attention to what goes on in Austin for our rules and our regulations on street rods. Now, we don't have a lobby and arm ourselves, but we work great with the SEMA and stuff like that. So when laws are introduced or amendments introduced for cars, we can try to maybe head something off, you know, because you guys know that once the government takes something away, you're not going to get it back.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
And so we work really arm in arm with the SEMA and the federal government on modifications for our cars and stuff like that we can get and keep. We've really been pushing the last couple of years. It's still not working, but we've been pushing on the thing about the front license plates on cars, you know. Not that it detracts from anything, but it's just one of those things. It's kind of hard to hang a front tag on a 32.
Right.
You know.
Wasn't designed for it, and sometimes people just think it makes the car look funky. Or you're blocking airflow to something that you need air to flow to. So.
Yep. Yeah. But you know, then again, a lot of times is we work, and one of the things we work with the safety features is you know, the classic cars don't have to be safety inspected anymore. You have to get your tags every 5 years. But you know, sometimes people let things slip, you know, and you got a shock leaking or something that's just not right. And so we really try to band together I guess.
Watch out for each other.
Watch out for each other, you know, because let's say it's hard to get people to get parts or work on old cars, or, you know. And so we pay attention to what goes on in Austin with the SEMA law or the state of Texas laws. And we try to band together and work so that we can have a happy Rodders Association and just have a good time and a fun time. And like I said, we met at Lucky's last year, and we'll be at Lucky's again this year. So hopefully everything will work out great for 2021.
Well, let's certainly hope so. And we sure appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk to us today, Jackie Hanson with the Lone Star Street Rod Association. Thanks again, my friend, and we'll see you at Lucky's.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, man.
Man.
Talk to you then. All right. Time now for This Week in Auto History.
And Jeffrey's got some video to run with this. In 1892,
I remember that year.
Alexander Brown and George Stillman of Syracuse, New York, patented an inflatable automobile tire so you could have a pneumatic tire. Prior to that, tires are just hard rubber, and it kind of made the ride quality a little funky. In 1926, General Motors registered the name Pontiac as a trademark. So, you know, and prior to that, Pontiac was Oakland. In 1933, Nissan registered the name Datsun. So, you know, you think some of these are relatively new. They've been around a while.
Do you think that we could pull up that Hyundai logo and talk about that again?
I didn't, but we probably can.
I burned it.
It burned in my mind. In 1937, the Lincoln Tunnel was officially opened to traffic, and the Lincoln Tunnel came from Weehawken, New Jersey, under the 1.5 miles under the Hudson River.
We wouldn't know anything about any of that.
Forget about it.
And popped up into Lower Manhattan. And originally it was just one tunnel, and then through the years they added 2 additional tunnels. So now it's 3 tunnels. The right side tunnel is you're going into, the left side tunnel you're coming out of, the tunnel in the middle, they change direction depending on what time of day it is for rush hour.
You put your right foot in.
And you put your right foot out. In 1945, George Patton was killed in a car wreck driving a Cadillac in Germany. And the uniqueness of the story, they had just stopped and he had collected a stray dog and was going to take that dog home with him, driving around in Germany, and ended up the Cadillac struck a U.S. military vehicle. And back in those days, people weren't belted in. They didn't have belts. His driver, you can go to the next picture, his driver and the dog survived without injury, but General Patton was killed in the wreck. He wasn't killed in the wreck. He took a pretty big head injury and passed a couple of weeks later.
From his injuries.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the dog's name was Lucky.
In 1952, the first Corvette production-ready prototype was completed and shown to the world. And since then, the Corvette has... did I not send the Corvette picture?
It was just there.
Yeah, it was there.
It was just there.
I was looking down. So in 1985, David Turner and Tim Pickard arrived at the northern end of Scotland, and they had taken a full drive through Great Britain in this full electric vehicle. And it is
pretty ugly.
It's a freight Rover Leland Sherpa that's driven by Lucas Electric Motor. It's
Rolls
purely
right off the tongue.
It's purely electric. They went 75 miles on a single battery charge. So they avoided
That whole back is full of batteries.
Yeah, they avoided range anxiety because this thing would go a long way. So Don, we're talking to Leland to see if we can get this for you as a company car.
That is one ugly vehicle.
And then in 1989, Roger Moore released his movie Roger and Me, which was basically about General Motors' destruction of the city of Flint, Michigan, where in relatively short period of time they put 30,000 people out of work.
Was it true?
Bits and pieces of it were true. He had a real angry side to the movie.
It was embellished in a lot of respects.
But the basis of the story was very true. GM basically shut down everything they did in Flint, Michigan, put about 30,000 people out of work.
Isn't that where they had the bad water, too?
Yeah, that's most recent. Well, it's been going on for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Bad
What
water.
the hell's wrong up there?
Who's in charge?
Nobody's in charge.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Wrong show.
This is a car.
So that is This Week in Automotive History.
Well, I want to talk some more about that.
In 9 minutes, you can talk about it. It'll be in the segment coming up in 9 minutes.
Hour.
10
in
minutes.
the fourth hour.
In the fourth hour that's not on the air. Again.
The pay-per-view hour.
So that's it. I'll keep my politics to myself.
What would be a good car movie to watch that I haven't watched?
Have you seen Ford versus Ferrari?
Yeah, I have.
I actually thought that was a very good movie.
I have not seen it. I've got it on.
I haven't seen it
tape.
yet either.
You don't watch movies.
I know.
Have you seen Senna?
I have seen Senna. That also is a very
Oh
good one.
my gosh!
Have you seen Corvette Summer?
Oh, my God. What a travesty that is. You kidding me? And you probably watch it over and over and over, don't you?
I made it through it once. That's as far as I could go.
what a
Death
horrible
Race
movie.
2000.
Oh, now that I've watched a couple of times.
Death Race 2000.
When was the last time you watched Vanishing Point?
I haven't watched Vanishing Point in this body, I don't think.
Two-lane blacktop.
Well, Two-Lane Blacktop's pretty good. That's James Taylor.
Yeah, James. I was about to say.
Vanishing Point.
Oh gosh, Keselowski. You got to watch. If you've never seen Vanishing Point, Vanishing Point is a movie to see.
But you got to watch it.
You got to watch it. And pay attention. You'll like it because it's a little odd.
As long as I can stop it while I'm napping.
It's
automatic go to. Well, I don't think you'll sleep during that one.
No, it's pretty intense, but Vanishing Point's kind of it's got a unique storyline to it.
Watch it in the dark with all the lights out.
And I won't go there.
Herbie. What about
Herbie the
Herbie.
Love Bug.
Herbie the Love Bug. When was the last time you
How about
watched
Grand Prix?
with
Yeah. I know. I can see him.
not McQueen.
No. I know who you're talking
James
about. James
Garner.
Garner.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Another good movie. Another very good movie. Or Le Mans.
Remember when that came
or
out?
Le Mans with Steve
They showed
McQueen.
it over at the Windsor Cinerama Theater. which is no longer, but it was over there at Richmond and the West Loop, that shopping center, that stripping center there.
What about Bullet?
I've watched Bullet 1,000 times.
Everybody. I mean, I love it, but you can watch it a little too much.
Are you familiar with IMDb?
I know what it is.
That's the everything about movies.
Oh, I thought it was something about you. I am DB. I was trying to figure out what DB meant.
Anyway, so
Dumb butt came to mind, but
well, that would be me. But you download that as a phone app, and any kind of movie or television show, look it up on there, and it gives you everything you want to know about the movie and more. And it dissects and goes in.
I actually used that for last year I ran a piece about Monday movie cars, and that's where I picked some of those cars from Monday Movie Cars was IMDb.
Yeah.
Interesting how they really dissect the movie out.
Including all of the faux pas and the missteps, and if you look at Bullet in particular, you'll see the same Volkswagen in about 5 different scenes.
Mm-hmm. And the same hubcap flying off. And the
7 hubcaps on a 4-wheel car, yeah.
Anyway. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Show. We're going to wrap things up right after this.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, January 16th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event. The Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, January 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, January 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy, weather permitting.
Oh, that's the wrong one. I think
that's the start of the show.
Leave it to me to screw it up again. Well, that is it for this episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. Hey, when you're on Facebook, give us a like, please. Tell your friends about us and share our junk. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com, along with Twitch. Podcasts are available on Pandora, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. Special thanks to all of our guests today. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Our video sales and marketing man is Jeff Zekin. This week's In Wheel Time Car Show is produced and directed by a very tired Mr. and Mrs. Claus. For booking agent and podcast man Mike Out of This World Mars, his royalty King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong saying so long for now, and we hope that you'll join us on the next live show and a new year. Thank God.
A very new year.
See you next year.
Next Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Thanks for being part of the In Wheel Time family. Mask up, stay healthy, wash those nasty hands. This is Don Armstrong saying so long for now.